No discovery was found. No discovery was found at the scene. Except for the traces left by the deceased himself, no clues involving the case were found, as if the murderer had never been to the scene at all. The director was silent for a long time and said, "There is no murder of the murderer? Do you believe it?" Everyone shook their heads together. The director patted the table and said, "What, are you still stunned? Go and check it. If there is really no clue, you can check the deceased and investigate their identity, including their relatives and friends. No one will kill people for no reason, and no one will be killed for no reason. For the time being, put down all the cases, put all your strength on this case, and solve the case as soon as possible." The meeting was over, and everyone was busy. Tian Tian was alone lying at the window thinking about things. Xiao Chen walked over and said, "What are you doing? Be careful, the director will see and train you again." Tian Tian frowned and said, "Xiao Chen, don't you think this case is very weird?" "It's weird. It's weird. Why, do you have any ideas?" Tian Tian said mysteriously, "Don't you think this case is supernatural?" Xiao Chen frowned and said, "I'm an atheist." Tian Tian said, "Then give me a reasonable explanation. A traceless murderer, a strange way to die." Xiao Chen thought for a moment and said, "I really can't explain this." Tian Tian said, "So, either people are ghosts, or there are real ghosts. I have a friend who is very good at this. She reads some supernatural anecdotes all day long and studies feng shui by yourself. Why don't you accompany me to find her?" Xiao Chen thought for a moment and said, "It's okay. Go and have a look. Maybe he can really find some clues." Tian Tian went to the friend's house with Xiao Chen. As soon as she arrived at the door, she saw a mirror hanging at the door, which was still pasted with a Taoist symbol. Xiao Chen trembled and said, "Your friend is really weird." Tian Tian knocked on the door, and a false voice in the door said, "Please come in." Tian Tian opened the door, and Xiao Chen had the impulse to turn around and run away, because he saw a woman in a white dress and black hair in the door. The woman had long hair and waist. She was dark and bright, falling down like a waterfall, and covered her face. In addition, there were curtains in the room. The dark atmosphere made Xiao Chen mistakenly think that she was in an instant. "Sadako," Tian Tian hurriedly said, "calm down. This is the norm for her." Then she made a brief introduction. Her friend's name was Connie. Xiao Chen felt that Connie was about to make herself crazy when she was doing feng shui. Tian Tian told Connie about the case. Connie was also dumbfounded for a long time and said, "This is really weird. I can't tell you anything, but I can check the information. Wait, give it to me. One night, I'll give you an answer tomorrow." So Tian Tian waited quietly in the bureau for a day. At noon, Connie called her and asked her to go out for lunch. Tian Tian hurriedly. As soon as she went out, a man appeared in front of her. Tian Tian was shocked and fixed her eyes, but it was Connie. Tian Tian patted her chest and said, "Do you walk with floating? Why is it silent?" Connie had already pulled her and said, "Let's go and show you something." She pulled Tian Tian into a restaurant and then said, "I checked it all night last night and found something from some local chronicles. There have been records of such a case in history. One such a case occurred at the end of the Ming Dynasty and happened in a small northwest town, which was recorded in the local chronicles. Besides, it was exactly the same as this case, but people at that time said that it was a ghost rebellion, and then asked God to worship the bodhisattva and sacrifice. You didn't investigate the case at all. If you want to investigate, why don't you go there to have a look first?" Another afternoon, an angry scold came from the director's office. "You believe anyone who is talking nonsense. Don't forget that you are a criminal policeman. You need to keep your mind clear and talk to me about ghosts. How can there be ghosts in this world? Ghosts are also ghosts made by people." Then Tian Tian's voice came and said, "But this case is really strange. What can Shin do at once? Anyway, I believe it. If you don't approve my business trip, I'm going to check it. I don't approve it. I'll pay for it myself." Tian Tian came out of the office angrily and saw that everyone in the bureau stared at her. Tian Tian said angrily, "What do you look at? I'm not good-tempered. What's wrong?" We all know that Tian Tian has a hot temper. It doesn't match her name and appearance at all, but she is also an unintentional person, so it's okay to quarrel, but no one expected that she would quarrel with the director. What she didn't expect was that she really asked for leave the next day and went to the small northwest town by herself. The small town was really small. According to the information Connie gave her, the place where the case took place was not in the small town, but in an extremely remote village. So Tian Tian took her police card and went to the local police station for help. In the end I found the small village where I couldn't even find the place name on the map. After arriving here, Tian Tian took the place chronicle printed by Connie and asked door to door. She wanted to know who knew the legend here. This small village was very remote. So far, there was no road. Only a muddy path leads outside the village. Tian Tian came in a sudden tractor. The people in the police station took good care of them. They sent someone to send her over, greeted the local fellow villagers, and let her settle down in a fellow villager's house. But after living here for 2 or 3 days, Tian Tian didn't get anything. She began to be a little uneasy. If she was so determined and didn't find any result, she would definitely be laughed to death when she went back, so she didn't give up. After staying for a few days without a result, she decided to walk further in the mountains. But if she goes in, she doesn't even know the way without the escort of the local police station. Fortunately, she had been prepared for a long time, and the map, compass, camping bags were available, so 3 days later, she set out again before dawn. The aunt in the family where she lived for a few days saw that she was going to enter the mountain. She kindly grabbed her and said, "You should be really careful when you want to go. You don't even have a phone signal when you enter the mountain. You have to walk hundreds of 80 miles to the nearest village, and the daughter-in-law in that village are all bought daughters. Few foreign women have gone. Can you go? Let's talk about it when you come out. You are still so handsome. It's too suspenseful." Tian Tian smiled and said, "I'm a policeman. I'm not afraid." After saying this, she went out, carrying a bag and holding a compass. She walked north all the way. After walking for more than 10 miles, she entered the depths of the dense forest. Here, the leaves were lush, almost covering the sky and the sun. The forest was gloomy. Tian Tian was bold, and she was still a little hairy. She walked all the way and walked. When she walked late, she watched the sunset. She didn't see a figure, so she decided to sleep out tonight.